Good Wednesday. How are you? I'm Rick Dancer. This is Get Real with Rick Dancer. We are not a sponsored show today. It's just me. I have a couple of things I want to chat with you about and remind you about. So anyway, it's just us. Hey, Matt, how are you? So I was at the First Place Family Center today. One of our new clients is St. Vincent de Paul. And talk about an eye-opener. Talk to this really cool family who had, everything going pretty well, and then things just kind of went to hell in a handbasket. And so they're going to be on the show next week. We're putting together some stuff for them, but wanted to meet them ahead of time. And so it kind of brought home some stuff I've been seeing because I've been, online and looking at some stuff. Hey, Catherine, how are you? This is not a regular show. This is my Get Real show, so we talk about whatever we want on here. So here's my thing. I'm online and I'm watching people try to politicize everything, and it drives me crazy. It's because we're not buying anymore. It's like it just doesn't work anymore. For the mass of people in the middle, we're not buying it. We don't care about your party, left or right. We don't care what you eat or what we eat. I like tofu, you like tofu, I like meat, you don't. I don't care. You don't like trains blowing through downtown Eugene and want them to stop? I like it. I think it's kind of charming. I run, you walk. I like asparagus, you don't. The rising tide against finger pointing is drawing a bunch of lines, and so many people just don't get it. We don't care anymore. And you're trying to make things, what you believe is what you believe. So do it. But don't put your beliefs on me or try to make me have to believe what you believe, because I don't. And I won't, and no matter how much you want me to, I'm not going to do it. We're not going back to how it was, a year or two ago. And it's not going to happen. It's just, if you want to be truly progressive, then progress beyond thinking there's a two-party system that's going to run control of this thing. I'm sorry, that isn't progressive. That's regressive. That's what we've been doing for the last how many hundreds of years, and it's bullshit and it doesn't work. So we're not listening to you anymore. So you can come on and you can make your spiel and try to put people down. I mean, I put something online yesterday about the Cornbread Cafe coming to Springfield. That's good news. That's interesting. That's awesome. And then somebody has to come on and try to politicize it, saying like, Springfield, they don't have vegans. Are they turning from their conservative ways? It's like, shut up. We're not Spring-Tucky anymore. That we may not be your definition of progressive, but I don't want to be your definition of progressive because it seems regressive to me. I want to go back to the family place where I was today, the First Place Family Center, and I just want to care about people. And I don't need all the ribbons and the garbage and all your stuff and programs and stuff that just gets in the way of people really doing something. There's this man over there, and he was talking to me. He's run he's run the First Place Family Center for years. He's just retiring. He said the coolest thing to me. He says the best way for people to change, not for you to change people, because you don't change anything, but the best way for people to change is for you simply to accept where they are and have relationship with them. Whoa, novel idea. You mean it doesn't work when you try to shove your beliefs down somebody's throat? No, because the very people shoving their beliefs down your throat, if you shoved your beliefs down their throat, would be gagging. And that's what it does. All we want is if we would just shut the hell up, accept people where they're at, and have relationship with them, then they have the ability to change better. And it's not about them changing. Of course we want them to do that. But it's about us just having relationship, plowing the ground to make it a place where stuff can happen. And instead, I feel like we live in a culture that all it does is make it harder and harder and harder to just have a frickin' relationship with people and care about them. Somebody has to come in with the damn cornbread vegan bullshit. And that is not, I'm happy to have them. I'm excited to have them. I'm not a vegan, but I want to try their food. Does that make it, why does that have to be like some shocker that Springfield is going to get a vegan restaurant? Those conservative people in Springfield. Get over yourself. You know, I mean, honestly, how are we going to truly be progressive in our culture if we keep doing the same thing over and over? The definition of insanity is to allow the two-party system to continue to do its crap. Continue. We all buy in, bow down, and go, well, that's the way it's always been. Bullshit. Not to mention, I mean, when do we start really progressing as a society and as a culture? You know, I think we should be looking around and going, you know, what the hell are we doing here? Why does every discussion have to turn into, I'm anti this, I'm anti that, I hate this, I hate that? You know, there's a whole bunch of us in the middle, and we're not fence riders. We just don't care about your pasture. we don't want to go in your pasture. We don't care. We care about you, but we don't want to go in your pasture. So we're not on the fence. We don't care about where your pasture is. See, we live in what we call freedom. So my pasture can go to the Democrat side, and I have some beliefs that might go over here in the Republican side. There might even be some things Donald Trump's doing I might agree with. But you can't, and there might be some things he's doing that I really think he's stupid. And I can even not like some of the things Obama did, and I can like some of the things Obama did. See, I don't have a fence that you make me. I have my own fence. I'm a fence builder. In fact, actually, I'm kind of a fence ripper downer. I don't give a crap about fences. It is just, God, it is unbelievable to me that we are still doing this, that I still see it online. And, you know, I'm going to say the nasty C word, okay? Compromise. There's a whole bunch of us in the middle that still believe that compromise is okay. That we have to work together, and that we can work together, and that we will work together. And I think that's where we're going. And I would just say to the media and to all you hardline party liners, you may find yourself without a following pretty soon, because we're not going with you. And you can take the easy way out and use the same old message. I had a guy at the gym yesterday, I really like him, he's a cool guy. But he was going on this anti-Trump thing, where it was just following the liturgy of the media. I don't listen to the media anymore, so I don't know anymore. It really bugs me that we have to be one-faced, violent, and rich. Exactly. You know, Bill? And what bugs me too is, we just had an incident where 8 people were killed in New York City. And you still hear people like hedging on this. I mean, it was a terrorist, okay? It's okay to say that. It doesn't mean I'm a right-winger. It doesn't mean I'm a left-winger. It's okay, but we can talk about that. No church, in my view, should have any politics, but that's me. I don't care what the church does. That doesn't affect me. I mean, I don't know. It's now what God says affects me, and that's not. I'm not trying. I try not to do too much of that on here because I don't want people to, feel like I'm shoving a religion down their throat, because I don't believe in religion, but I do believe in God. But He also developed a set of standards that the church doesn't follow, and then they wonder why it doesn't work. And they're not even doing what He told them to do. They're making up stuff. They're adding to His law, and then they wonder why none of it works. It's crazy. So my bottom line is, I'm not angry. I will always be upset, because I think people, we're just, what upsets me, it's not that these people try to do this. That doesn't upset me. I get it. I ran for office. I know how people can be. What bugs me is the bullying. I got a guy at my gym who will not talk to me because I ran for office as a Republican. He told me that in the gym. You lied. Don't talk to me. You're a Republican. I said, I'm not anymore. I'm not anything. So we, for the last year, are in the locker room, the shower, whatever. Not a word is spoken. That's such stupidity. That's just dumb. It's just really dumb. That, to me, is narrow-minded. That, to me, is intolerance. That, to me, is the opposite of progressive, and yet I bet if I sat down and he would talk to me, he would consider himself to be progressive. I find it really funny when people use words like progressive when they're really not. You know what I mean? It's like you can't use that. Well, it's a term. No. What a word means is what a word means. Very, very significant to me. You can't change the meaning of a word because it doesn't fit your belief. It doesn't work. That's part of the problem. People are afraid to say what they feel. No matter what you say, it's going to upset someone. I guess, Jennifer, I totally agree with you. We become, we become a place, a land of people who are too afraid. And that's why we, in my opinion, that's why we ended up with Donald Trump, is because a whole bunch of people were tired of being told what to do, and then they ended up voting for him. So the sad thing is the people that are not liking Trump, if you want to keep that from happening again, you better learn from that. And they're not. They're continuing to do the same thing and the same old tactics. And you see Congress doing the same thing, nothing. And then they wonder why we're where we're at. So my little talk here is really not about as much about that as it is about we're not going back. I encourage all of you to don't get in arguments, but do what the guy told me at the First Place Family Center, what I learned today. People can change, but that's not the reason you have a relationship with them. But if you have a relationship with them, you develop the atmosphere where people can be loved, and then they can change, but not with the idea that I'm doing this so you will change. That makes sense? It's kind of counterintuitive. You go in with pure motives, just to love them and take care of them. And then if they want to change, it's their decision, but you just stick with them. If we did that in our culture and quit bullying people and quit telling people what they have to believe, it's okay to get angry about stuff. Like when another tax comes in or something stupid happens, it's okay to talk about that. Yeah, that's right, Ryan. No basic respect for other people's opinions. And it's that attitude, what ends up happening is instead of shutting up and listening to people say what they're saying to kind of get a feel for who they are, they railroad their opinion on you. And this happens on the left and the right, both. And they railroad their opinion on you. And I have people I think people don't know where I stand, and it's none of their business, and I don't care. I mean, nothing is that. I have some pretty strong things that I believe in, that kind of stuff. But it's not important enough to destroy a relationship with other people, unless by me speaking my mind, that makes people not want it. That makes people angry with me. If that's the case, grow up. Get a pair. What a bunch of wusses we are. I mean, really, I'll do something like this and I'll go and look at my friend list and I'll lose people. And it's like, really, that's the best you can do? If you want to change this place and this climate, here's my message to the left and the right. We're not going with you anymore. We're not going to listen to you. You do not own the conversation anymore. You lost it. You used to own it because there was this thing that we respected you because you were in elected office, but now you've lost that. You didn't take care of it properly. You misused it, and you continue to misuse it. And so now we're not listening anymore. And we're not buying your bullshit, and we're going to go do what we believe in our heart is the right thing to do. And we're going to do it out of kindness, and we're going to do it with the idea that what I'm trying to do is really help people, not you, not your power, not your progressiveness, not your conservativeness, not your liberalness. I don't give a crap about any of that. If we're going to progress as a culture and a society, those of us in the middle have to stop listening to the lies. Have you ever noticed that's a word we don't use much anymore? Lie. Because I'm going to say something and then it's going to offend some people. Too bad. But there are people who are liars. Because if you lie, you're a liar. But do we call people a liar anymore? I mean, what if somebody blatantly tells a lie? Do we then turn around and say you're a liar? It's like there's no then I'm judgmental. No, it's a factual lie. And then we created this new thing where it's like a half truth. Well, I know that's not new, but it's like a half truth. So then and then everybody's definition of the truth is what they feel or believe. God. We're in so much trouble. If you start believing that, I mean, if truth starts centering around Rick Dancer's belief system, we're in so much trouble. Or yours. Don't just go pointing at me. If your value, what you think, I mean, here's the other thing we do. We all have opinions on stuff, and then we think those are facts. It's like we take our opinions as if they are God facts, and they're opinions. And you know how many times I am wrong in a day about my opinion about people, about issues. You go back 10 years to my attitude about politics, about church, about a lot of things. It was a lot different than it is today because I've learned things, and I educate myself. But one of the ways I'm learning in the last year or two to educate myself is to stop paying attention to the media, because it's not working anymore. It's just not working anymore. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today. Yeah, and if you choose to be offended by what I've said, I'm sorry, that's your choice. If you want to defriend me, you can do that. I don't do this to make you mad. I don't do this I do this to rile you. I hope I do this for me. I do this to make myself think and to really solidify what I believe. And I believe the far left and far right are dying. They're going away. And I am not going to ride that ship. It has on the side of it Titanic. It already hit an iceberg. The problem is none of them know that they're going down because they keep, we've always done this. We have power. And go look at their motivation. Education is something we should do for ourselves every day. I agree. And you have to go, if you feel like you got to listen to both sides. And you got to hear what both sides are saying so you can make an actually informed opinion. Because what happens too often is we listen to what tickles our ear. And if you listen to just what tickles your ear, you may not, you may never learn anything. There's a whole lot of people out here and there who just want to hear what they want to hear. And so you will gravitate to the people you want to hear because they're speaking your language. That happens in church. A pastor can tell me that, that God is a God of prosperity, and if I do all the right things, everything's going to be better. Then, that's the church I want to go to. But then what do you do when you realize that God is the God of prosperity, but sometimes prosperity doesn't look like what you think it's going to look like? This thing we do is not a fairy tale. It's real life. And the people I saw today at the First Place Family Center are living real life. And what they don't need is another fairy tale. And what they don't need is another bullshit thing about what they should be doing. What they do need is people to love them. Pretty simple stuff. So all that comes from a comment on the Cornbread Cafe. Food for knowledge. I can't wait to visit them. And this has nothing to do with them. They're great people. And it's a great addition to Springfield. But it was the comment that got me. Yeah. And what this guy told me today, Stacy, was to, when they show respect to folks who are in hard situations, no matter where they are, there's scientific research that shows those people do better. Everybody's life doesn't always turn around. But if you're being nice or serving them so that they will turn their lives around, then you got the wrong motivation. Nobody wants to be a project. Everybody wants to be loved, or respected and stuff like that. So anyway, I got some meetings today. So here's what I wanted to tell you too. Tomorrow is our first car wash show. Car wash, live at the car wash with Rick Dancer. And that will be at 10 o'clock. And it's going to be on my Rick Dancer Conversations page. So that's not this page. It's going to be on my Conversations page. But we will share it to this page so you can see it. But if you want to watch it live, you'll need to go follow my Rick Dancer Conversations page, because that one has more dynamic stuff that we can use on it. So that'll be at 10 o'clock. We're going to have the Lucky Paws Animal Rescue with us. And they said they're going to bring a litter of puppies to fill my car. And they get 2.5 minutes to tell you what they're doing. And you would not believe what I got planned for the rest of the month. We're calling some really fun stuff. So that'll be really, really fun. And hold on. And Friday, we have a double header for you. We're going to have, bye Donna, have a good day. We're going to have Stephen Reiser. He's a young man who's autistic. He's blind, and he plays piano at Sacred Heart Hospital, Peace Health, Riverbend. And he's a super charming dude. But he's a savant. I mean, he can hear a song one time on the radio and then turn around and play it. So we're going to introduce you to Stephen at noon. And then at 2 o'clock, there's a Midtown Fight in town this weekend on Friday night over at the Bob Kiefer Willamette Lane Center. And we're going to go to the weigh-in at a bar and watch these rough and tumble dudes. I'm not fighting them, but they're gonna do their weigh-in. And tomorrow when we do the car wash show too, I've got two. I'm not gonna tell you where, but I got two $25 gift certificates to a local restaurant that we recently visited. And the first two people that show up at that restaurant after the show, when I announce where they are, you'll get them. I mean, two people, one for each person that goes in. But there's going to be two gift certificates there. So every show we're going to try to give something away. So we're going to have some fun. So that's what you have to look forward to on our show. In terms of this little rant, do not listen to them, okay? Promise me, don't listen. And learn for yourself. Do not let people tell you how you live your life. And then go out and live it. I mean, there's so many people in our world who are existing. And I had a good friend of mine one time tell me, Rick, find the thing that makes you dance and then dance. So go find the thing that makes you dance and then dance. And don't let anybody tell you you're a bad dancer or that you can't do it, okay? Because they're full of crap.